This game was played in 1851 between Adolf Anderssen and Lionel. And this is Adolf Anderssen's Immortal game. So it first starts with e4, and then we have e5, f4, and e takes f4. So this is the king's gambit accepted. We have the bishop's gambit with bishop c4. White gets checked by the black queen, and it's forced to move to f1. This is okay. This is opening theory so far, and even though White's lost castling privileges, White will have some advantage with tempo when knight goes to f3. So now we have b5 attacking the bishop, and in the game we have b takes b5, bishop takes b5, and now knight f6. Now the knight comes up to f3, which attacks the queen, and the queen retreats to h6. We have d3. So d3 is a good move because it protects. It's a decent move because it protects the e4 pawn, and also it puts pressure on the f4 pawn. We have knight h5. So knight h5 is a tricky idea. This is a very beginner tactic that some people fall into, which is that if, let's say, White plays just some random move like a3, then we have knight g3 check, which forces the h pawn to take, and then the rook is lost in the corner. So we don't want this. So we have knight h4 by Adolf Anderssen, which will block that tactic. And now we have queen g5, because the whole point of knight h4 is that we want the knight on f5, which Adolf Anderssen does. And now we have c6 attacking the bishop. And the best move here for White is just moving the bishop back to a4. But instead we have g4. So this is some crazy wild chess ready. We have a bishop sacrifice on move 10. We have knight f6, because the pawn was attacking the knight. And now we have g1, protecting the g4 pawn. We have c takes b5, so black takes the bishop. And now we have h4, attacking the queen. And if you look at this position, White has a lot of space on the king's side, and the queen is almost trapped. We have queen g6, and now h5. So black is forced to play queen g5 to protect the queen. And now we have queen f3. And the whole point of queen f3 is that we want to capture the f4 pawn with the dark square bishop to trap the queen. We have knight g8. The only way to protect the queen was to retreat the knight and create some breathing space. And now the bishop captures the pawn, and now queen goes to f6. And if you notice, the black queen is staring at the b2 pawn. We have knight c3, which blocks that. And now black tries to develop with tempo. The bishop is attacking the rook on g1. We have knight d5, attacking the queen. So there's a lot of moves that White or black can make a mistake here of. One of them is, for example, if you play queen e6, you're going to get forked by the knight. And either c7 or g7, and then you will lose your queen. So we don't want that. You do want to protect the g7 square, the g7 pawn, from being captured. And you can't really do anything about the knight c7 fork. So in the game, we have queen takes b2, attacking the pawn and taking the pawn and attacking the rook on a1, with check in the future, potentially. Now we have bishop d6. This targets the bishop and just develops it into a much more active square. And here, black can take the rook on a1 with check. Black can take the bishop. Black can take the rook on g1. It's highly advisable that black tries to defend his position, and Here, let me go through some variations. We have, what happens if the bishop takes? Well, we have the knight takes, and after the king slides over, we have check. And after the king slides over here, we have check again. And when the king slides over to d8, we have check and mate. So that's why you don't want to take the bishop. So the next move is, what happens if you take the rook on a1 with check? Well, we have king e2, we have queen takes g1, knight takes g7, so that's going to be a check. The king has to slide over, and then it'll be checkmate after the bishop goes to c7. So that's why you don't want to take the bishop or the rook in the corner. In the game, we have bishop takes g1. And now we have this fabulous move from Adolf Anderssen, which is just pushing the pawn. And he's offering up the rook on a1. And so black took in the game. We have king e2, knight a6. So the point of knight a6 is just you want to protect the c7 square. And now Anderssen checks on g7. And the king slides over. And can you find the move that's white played? It's an incredible move. Queen f6 check, giving up the queen, forcing black to take, and now it's checkmate. Wow. That was the Immortal game by Anderssen.